Let's fucking go.
Everybody, welcome to the Comic Gear Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review F1. Brad Pitt's F1, as Brad Pitt's the biggest actor in this movie. Now, F1 is a movie that's been in the works for a little bit. It's an Apple original film. It was made by Apple, because, you know, Apple has Apple Plus, but, like, I don't know anyone who has Apple Plus. I don't know anyone who has the Apple streaming service. I know of a couple shows like Ted Lasso, like Ted Lasso? I think it's Laszlo with old Sudeikis in it. I forgot the name. I forgot if it's Ted Lasso or whatever. I know there's a couple shows on there. There's a couple shows on there that some people talk about and rave about, and some of those shows have gotten nominated for awards and whatnot. But I don't know anyone personally who has the Apple streaming service. Like I say, I don't know anyone who personally has it. But Apple has been trying to like get into the entertainment game for a while with their shows and this, and I'm sure they've had other movies other than this one, but this one's a big one. This movie in particular is a big swing for Apple. Apple even went out of their way to, you know what? I'll get into what they went out of their way to do in this movie a little bit later in the review. But let's just get this up top. Formula One, F1 is kind of the epitome of racing. Like in America, in the States, we kind of like see NASCAR as that number. NASCAR is kind of the thing in our brains we think about when we think racing in the States. But worldwide, Formula racing is the big thing. I'm talking Ferrari, Ford, like all these brands. A lot of the brands were kind of created to race in these kinds of things. Like Formula One is the World Cup. Talking about the Grand Prix type shit. And like it's like soccer in the States. Like soccer in America or in the world they call it football, but in America we call it soccer because it's just not as big of a deal to us. Same thing here. Formula One racing is the big time for a lot of people. It's the world stage. And there hasn't really been too many movies about Formula One. I would probably say the last time I saw a good movie that was about Formula One racing was the movie Rush. I believe Rush came out in like 2009. It starred Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl. In fact, it was the first time I had ever seen Daniel Bruhl in a movie ever. And I loved him so much in that when he was announced to be Zemo, I almost fucking jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my God, an actor that I loved that no one really knows about is getting a big time role. And it's also the first time I saw Chris Hemsworth be in something other than Thor, where he was genuinely good. Rush might be one of Chris Hemsworth's greatest performances. It was just such a great movie. The competitive nature of it just got the juices flowing. Rush is one of the all-time greatest underrated sports movies. You know, I might have to go make a list of sports movies sooner or later. But like, Rush was like the last time I saw this topic touched well. I'm sure other people have tried to touch this topic. There really isn't a lot of racing movies. I mean, there are a couple. Obviously, Talladega Nights, Days of Thunder. There's some racing movies. But nothing has really been outside of Rush, like really taking my attention until now. So, we get Formula One. Now, Formula One follows Brad Pitt's character, Sonny Hayes. And Sonny Hayes is an old retired Formula One racer who spends his days traveling the countries, traveling the world really, finding any race he can get. He's been described as a hired gun, as literally he just shows up, races, wins, takes his money and goes about his day. And he's like a nomad really. He lives out of his van. He's like a nomad who just happens to also be one of the best racers in the world. Like, he's just kind of like going about his business. And one day, his friend Ruben, racer comes to him and asks him to join his team. Ruben is having a tough time. He just started up his own little racing company. I don't understand some of the terminology when it comes to racing, like part unit, like racing companies or whatever, or racing clubs or whatever. I don't know how that works, but he started his own like racing thing, Apex, and Ruben just lost his number one driver, or his number one driver got taken from him or quit or whatever. They have a shit car. They got a rookie named JP. I think his name's Joseph Pierce, something like that. But they call him JP. He has a rookie with great talent, but it's just too arrogant, too full of himself. It can't get out of his own way to let that talent flourish. He's like, dude, like, Sonny, I need you. I need you. And of course, Sonny's like giving him the hardball and giving him like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, it's very apparent that the history they have together is thick, but the things that have prevented Sonny that have set Sonny down this path of him just traveling the country, looking from race to race, whatever set him down this path is obviously something of note. It's something that was pretty bad. And but to help out a friend and to maybe get that feeling back again of being in the Formula One racing, something that he hasn't been involved in a very long time, in 30 years to be more exact. He's been out of the professional racing game for 30 years, other than the shit he's doing on the side. But either way, he takes his friend back up on the offer, and what you end up getting is a movie that is classic sports movie. You got the butting of the head of the veteran Sonny and the wild card in the young upstart JP. You got the tension of the fact that his friend told him, like, we have 9 races to win 1. And if we can't win 1 race in these 9, I'm going to have to sell my whole company. I'm going to lose everything. And it's like, so now Sonny's not just racing for his own personal, goals. He's also racing to save his best friend's job. So you get this interesting balancing act here. There's a clock. There's a clock. There's tension right up front from the beginning. Brad Pitt plays Sonny with a level of cool that I am disgusted by. I've said this. I posted this up on my channel. Brad Pitt may be the only man I've ever seen in Hollywood who has gotten cooler and cooler and cooler the older he has gotten. Like, Brad Pitt was always cool. Don't get it twisted. I always got Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was dope. I love Brad Pitt in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Ocean's movies. I've always dug Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's been the dude. But it's not really until recently, until like the last 10 years, where he has gone from cause he had his phase, like Tom Cruise had his phase, like a couple other people had their boy band kind of phase where he was the young hot guy, but he was the young cocky, attractive dude. But now he's just the older, calm, cool, collected. He walks this line between being reckless and completely unknowing what he's doing, and you're never quite sure because he does that cool thing that cool people do, where they talk to everyone in the same tone, so you never really are sure where you stand with him. You're never really sure if he's flustered. Because he's just so calm and cool and collected. He's the coolest dude in the room. And he is like that here. Look, his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Clint Booth thing was amazing. I loved him. He was by far the best thing in that movie. I love Leonardo DiCaprio too, but he was awesome as Clint Booth. And he brings that same level of energy, and maybe even turns up the coolness as Sonny Hayes. And he's great. Also, JP, the other actor, I always forget his name. It's something Idris. If you guys might have seen that actor in Snowfall. He does a great job because they obviously do the thing where they're kind of mirror images of it. It's like he's looking at a freaking younger version of himself. And, that's the kind of thing they do with those two, where they're teammates, and he's looking at a younger version of himself, and he's trying to help him, he's trying to guide him, but at the same time, he's looking for something more. You have the love interest. At least they actually gave him a love interest that served a purpose. She wasn't just a love interest, she was actually the techie who works on the actual design of the car. So, and one of the big things was the car sucked. So, you know, so him coming in, falling in love, getting with her, but also telling her his experience, also telling her what she could do to fix this car, or like, you know, giving, you know. And by the time the movie gets near its conclusion, dude, what you end up with is one of the best sports movies of all time. Like, I don't know if I would put this in the same category with, like, Remember the Titans, Coach Carter. Let me see. There's a couple of them. $1 Million Arm. There's a couple great sports movies I have seen. Cause a great sports, the Mighty Ducks. Like, a great sports movie does one thing, and this movie did that for me, which is you want them to win. You fall in love with the characters. You fall in love with the process. By the time it all wraps up, you are rooting for the characters to win. You are rooting for their success. And by the time this movie got close to its conclusion, I found myself on the edge of my seat. My popcorn was gone. But I found myself on the edge of my seat, rooting for them, rooting for this to win, rooting for rooting for Sonny, rooting for JP, rooting for everybody on the crew. By the time this movie wraps up, and it's a 2-hour and 30-minute movie, so it's a bit of time. But by the time it wrapped up, I was like, dude, that was dope, man. I enjoyed myself. It didn't even end the way I thought it was going to end. Now, it does end the way you think it's going to end. But what happens after isn't what I thought was going to happen after. But yeah, F1 is dope, dude. If you're into movies, like, also, one last bit, the racing it has by far the best racing sequences in any film. And it's thanks to the way it was filmed. So Apple made custom cameras to put on the actual, you know, F1 vehicles to show the inside of the car, the outside of the car, to show footage of the, like, they made these awesome cameras. Very reminiscent of Top Gun, actually. Like, the racing sequences are very reminiscent of Top Gun because the way they shot them, the way they made these cameras to shoot it, it looks stunning. It looks amazing. Every race sequence is gripping. I swear to God, every time you see someone turning and I see their arm going like this, dude, I'm just like, oh my God. It's a thrill ride, man. I would give F1, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, dude. It was awesome. I had a great time with it. I think you guys would enjoy it. It's a good time to take to the family, man. It's a great sports movie. And we need more great sports movies. I need more great sports movies. I love me some sports movies. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the Cop Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.